Alright, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Elder Scrolls Online video. So, a lot of you guys have been recently asking me what kind of add-ons I use and what do they do. So I thought I'd make an official video pretty much stating what I use, and yeah, so most of it is the same since last update. I believe the last time I made a video was probably like April or May, and for the most part 95% of them are the same. And what I use pretty much is updated from Morrowind. So, for all of you who are new to the channel and pretty much don't know what I use, here is what I have. So, in a nutshell, it's all of this. So you can like take a quick screenshot. But I'll go through all the add-ons and tell you why I use it and how it's used. So, yeah. Anyway, let's start off with. Let's go from bottom to top, just because some of them literally only take 20 seconds to explain. Skyshards, it shows you where all the Skyshards on the map. For example, that's actually not a good example. I know I haven't collected all of them on certain areas, so... Oh my god. For example, like right here in Vardenfell on this character, I have not collected any Skyshards. It just shows you where they are on the map. Pretty simple. And I really do feel bad for console players who have to like actually look up guides or, you know, screenshots and stuff. Whereas PC players just have it. We'll go over Shrendar a little bit later because this one's going to take a long time to explain and there's a lot of customization. Roomba is pretty much if you have a guild bank, you can just organize it and stack all the items that aren't stacked. So you just push a button and it auto stacks all of the stuff in there. So that's about it. Raid timer is something for veteran trials. And it pretty much just shows you your potential score and your, like, time, I guess. So I'll show you what it looks like. So if you type RT start, you see the timer at the top left. It pretty much just shows you what it is. And then in a trial, there'll be like a raid score that ticks down slowly. And at the end, you'll see what your final score is. And then if you want to stop it, you type RT stop. And that's pretty much what it is. So... with that said, you can add like a hard mode calculation, so plus 40,000 points if you're doing a hard mode, and show timers outside of trials, which is off because you don't need it outside of a trial, and you can change the colors and whatnot. So, Raid Notifier. This one is a very important one, as this one has been updated to pretty much just show you when things are happening, when stuff happens in trials. Now it's been updated for normal difficulty. So whatever it is, only for veteran, no, it works on normal now too because they updated it. So I think it's a good thing for pretty much anyone who's looking to do trials, even if it's on normal difficulty, to pick up. If you ever played WoW, it's like Raid Boss Notifier or something like that. So like when an attack is happening, it just gives you a notification on screen to like block or something, and it tells you when your buff food is running out. Yeah, so for pretty much any trial, it tells you when certain things are happening. You can turn it on or off. So really what I used it for the first time was Mob Lorcage, because people just don't know when to rotate on Twins fight. And I don't know. This one is what I really got the add-on for. But now that they have updated it for like Dragonstar Arena, Sanctum, AA, and Hellraw is really irrelevant. But it pretty much just tells you when things are happening. I would say the important ones to this day for the trials are definitely turn on everything for Mob Lorcage and Sanctum Ophidia, because a lot of people just die to dumb things. So if you can, definitely an add-on to get if you're looking to start doing trials and stuff. You don't technically need it, but it helps. Master Merchant is another thing we'll go over a little bit later because this one takes a while to talk about. Mail R is essentially something they should have had in the game by default. So if you look into your mail, it's like, for example, let's do this from my pre-order. You can reply and, oh yeah, it gives you like a reply and forward button, just like real emails, unlike the default where you cannot do that for some reason. So like if you are a guild leader, co-leader, or an important person in the guild, you can now forward messages and reply to them directly instead of actively having to type out their name. So for example, if you reply to an email, or not reply, let me just show you. forward an email, I just post their previous message and like to and from, and pretty much that's about it. So it's pretty neat, something to look into. It's definitely not for everyone, but I don't know, I like it. LUI Extended we'll talk about in a minute, just because this one is probably going to take the longest time to explain. It's pretty much a UI add-on. Lost Treasure is pretty much, if you have a treasure map, it shows you where it is on a map with a red X. So I think I have something, yeah, sure. The Clothier Survey and Reaper's March. So if I were to look at Reaper's March, it shows you where it is, the X on the map. That's pretty much it. So it's really handy. And once again, I feel bad for console players who do not have this one. Loot Log is pretty much, if you want to see what kind of loot you get in chat, and you could potentially see other people's loot too. It shows you the trait and what item they got. I don't know. I kind of have it, but you could turn it off as you want. So it just kind of like, I run with a lot of people who do trials and stuff, so it's kind of like, do I want to see what they have and we could potentially trade? That's about it. Otherwise, it really doesn't do anything. Joe Group and Lib Group Socket are essentially the same thing. If you got the Joe Group add-on, you get this. I don't really use this too much, so I don't really know what it does, and I can't really explain it. So, Joe Group, as you guys have seen, is my health bar UI add-on. This is what it looks like in a nutshell. And yeah, it's like if you're in a group, dungeon group would be 4, raid group will be 12, PvP can be up to 24, and you can customize how it looks. So you can adjust the size of everything, you can adjust the warhorn color, and you can pretty much adjust all the colors. So if I turn this on, like the way I have it set up is the healers have a green bar, DPS have a red bar, and tanks have a blue bar. Now you can do whatever you want in terms of colors, but that's just how I set mine up, and it makes things easier to organize. There's another thing where you can turn on the compact mode. It shows you pretty much the people's @ name, their champion point level, and all that stuff, but I think that's just too clustered, so I like the compact mode where it just shows you your @ name and your health bar. I don't need to see other people's like champion points. And yeah, you could use custom colors if you wanted to. Let's turn this on, for example. And then if I wanted like to choose whatever color, I don't know, it's more for the people who want very specific colors instead of like a really like drop down bar. I don't really care too much as long as I can see the difference between like red, green, blue. I think that's really all that matters to me. And of course you can show or hide notifications and health values. So if I want to turn this off, I don't have to see someone's like total health bar, but I like to have it. There's another thing over here where it tells you if someone's using food or not, and pretty much all the good stuff that you need. So up to you, really customizable, but this is the UI that I use for health bars. Inventory grid view, this one's pretty quick. This is what your default UI should look like in your inventory. This is what inventory grid view looks like. So if you're like me and you just like seeing all the items on one screen, then this one might be for you. It's even color coded to show you like what color the items are. If it's upgraded to max, then it's gold. And really, I just don't like having to scroll through everything. I just like seeing everything on one screen, and that's really all the add-on does. So it's really handy for me. It was definitely something that I used in Skyrim. Well, this isn't the exact same thing, but I used something similar to this in Skyrim. So it's just kind of something that carries over, and I like seeing everything on one screen instead of scrolling. So that was pretty quick. Definitely something handy for me. Definitely not for everyone. If you like the default one, that's good for you. FTC, this is also a UI add-on just like LUI Extended, except I only use this for the damage statistics. So what it looks like right here is this bar. It shows you your damage, and I'll just show you an example. I'm on my healer, so don't expect anything amazing right now. So this is pretty much what it tells you. Same with combat metrics. FTC is just a bar, and it tells you damage done, healing, and time. Alrighty. So next on our list is, well, actually you can have like unit frames, buff tracking, damage text. I only have that one on, and you can also share your DPS with the other people who have the same add-on and have this checked on as well. Lazy Writ Crafter is something where you literally just push one button and it does your daily writs for you. I'm pretty sure it's still up to date, and you just push a button, it crafts everything you need for the daily writs, and you can pretty much just set what you want. So if you want it to do your master writs as well, you can turn that on. If you don't, you can turn it off. You can pretty much skip all the dialogue when you're talking to the writ board and stuff, and you can have it auto loot. And if you wanted to craft specific styles, you can set which ones you want on. By default, it's only the common ones that you find around the world and the ones you could buy from the NPC. But if you want to have like certain other things, you can check all these, but I really just don't care. So that's what I have it on. Most of it's on default. Combat metrics. This one is a big one for all of you who are looking to improve your damage or just overall stay competitive. So this one is the same thing as FTC, except very detailed. It shows you your damage meter. It's the thingy at the bottom. It shows you your health or health gains and healing time. It's more detailed. This one, FTC goes by the second. This one goes like by the millisecond, so it's more accurate. Damage taken, healing done, healing received, and overall damage. So after a fight, you can set up a little bar right here that shows you how much damage you've done, how much damage your group has done, and of your damage, how much you've done or contributed out of your entire total. Total, normal, crit, block, shielded, whatever. How much magicka you have, how much you would use if you were to do your full rotation, and your full buffs and all that stuff. So all your abilities used in a fight would be over here listed, and you can see which one does the most damage and whatnot. So, and what target you have. You can also save and load fights as well. As you may imagine, I logged in or reloaded a while back, so it's no longer there. It's just something that helps you if you want to learn how to min-max efficiently, and I don't know, I just find it really helpful. Awesome Guild Store. This one works with Master Merchant, so I think we covered all of them that are the quick and painless ones to talk about. So let's go into the more detailed ones now. Let's go into Shrendar. Now this one is 100% going to have to be customized by you to your liking, because what I use is definitely not something you are going to be used. As you guys know, or have seen like other videos, people have like scrolling bars on your screen with like timers that you can cluster your screen. Over a year ago, I knew about the add-on. I just didn't want to use it because I like keeping my UI simple, and I just didn't want too much stuff clustered on my screen until I figured out that you can just whitelist certain things you use. So pretty much if you unlock it, this is how I have mine organized. So you're pretty much just going to be looking at 1 and 2 the way I have it, and I'll show you an example of what it looks like. So if I were to cast like healing springs, you can see all the little like green timer bars at the bottom. That's what I have it set as. Is essentially your buff tracker, and it tells you when to, well, not tells you, but it just gives you a little timer to recast all your abilities and whatnot. So it's 100% gonna have to be customized the way you play, and I can't really help you with that, but I could just show you my settings. So an aura control, by default all of these are set to like display as window 1 through 10. I disabled everything, and I turned off everything here. And the aura fade out, you can set it to whatever you want, and pretty much just whitelist all your buffs. And pretty much like this is what I typed in manually, so these are the only buffs that it tracks on this character. And yeah, so cast bar on, off, or a display, you can, it's a lot of customization. So keep in mind, if you get this add-on, it's something you're gonna have to spend at least like an hour on or more, customizing, moving everything to your liking. So it's essentially a buff tracker in a nutshell. Next up, we'll go with Master Merchant. As you may imagine, this is a pretty important add-on if you are looking to make gold, flip items, and yes, just overall make money in this game. So, let's go with something over here. Look at the price at the bottom. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know what Master Merchant is, especially if you're on PC, but just for everyone who's like new to the game and whatnot, I'll try to explain what this does. So, in a nutshell, it tells you the average market price of an item, of the item sold in your guilds. So, it tells you like an average, and the more trade guilds you are in, the better the average will be. So, you can customize it to the point where you want to see sales based on, like, for example, 13 days, 20 days. Actually, Morrowind just hit like 2 weeks ago, so my data isn't super accurate. But essentially, if I were to look in chat, you can pretty much say there's an item and someone asks for a price check. You can hit stats to chat and then post it into the chat as well. So it shows you the number of sales and the number of items sold and how long and how many days, the average price, and of what item. You can click the item. So that's essentially what it is. Not all items have it, but gives you an average. And with the calculation and tips, you can pretty much set it to like 10 days to 20 days. Let's see, is there an item? 13 to 20 days. I have to like refresh and reset everything, but it just pretty much just tells you if an item has been sold and how much. So the important things you should probably customize is the focus 1-2 day range. It gives you like a 10-day average and a 20-day average. That's just how I have it, because the shorter the focus range is better, because it gives you a more accurate price up to date. But if you wanted to set it to like 90 days past recent, you could do that as well. And then you can open it up with mail, show frequency, scanning, and whatnot. Definitely something to play with yourself. But in a nutshell, what this add-on is it tells you what guilds you're in, and it tells you the average price of things sold. So if you're in higher trade guilds, you're probably going to have a more accurate price than the person who's in one guild. But the way I have it, I'm in 2 trade guilds, so whatever I get is from those 2 guilds. Alright, so what's next is LUI Extended. Keep in mind this is probably going to take quite a long time, but I'll try to keep this as simple and easy to understand as possible. So let's start off with the first one of 4 tabs. Info panel is something that pretty much just showed you your clock, and I think I have to like reload UI to show you. But essentially, it's that little thing that I've had, if you've been watching my videos for a while. It shows you like a clock, FPS, and all that stuff on your screen. So if you like having that, but I think right now it's bugged. So like, if you were to talk to an NPC, that little part would stay, whereas before it didn't. So that's why I had to disable it. But it just shows you what all of this stuff is, and you can move it around. So combat info, I think in the upcoming future, this is going to be disabled. Yeah, it's going to be removed because I don't know why exactly. It's like some sort of, I don't know, the add-on developer just does not want to work on it anymore. That's really all I know about it. Damage meter, it's kind of like the FTC and combat metrics. I don't have mine enabled because I use the other 2, but if you don't want to get the other 2, you can enable a damage meter, and it essentially does the same thing as the other FTC combat metrics, as I explained before. So buffs and debuffs. I'm going to show you what it is on the screen right now. So if you look over here, and if you were to look, hold on, I'll just use some random food to show you an example. Let's see, what's a skill I could use that would give me something? I think restoring light. Yeah. So as you guys can see over here, these are my buffs. This is why I have mine organized. And if you wanted to customize where all the icons are and pretty much just turned everything on and off, you could do that right here. It pretty much just shows you an icon. I really don't need to see most of it. And then you can organize like the location and whatnot. So always good. Chat announcements, I have 100% of these disabled. It pretty much just shows you when all these happen, it goes right into your chat. So if you like seeing it, cool, turn it on. If you don't like seeing it, turn it off. So pretty much all of these things you see right here like loot currency or loot announcements, experience, collectibles. If you want to see that in your chat as well, cool, turn it on. If not, turn it off. Unit frames, this is probably the most important thing that you're going to have to look at. It's 100% customizable, and it's something that you're going to have to do yourself. But all I can do is show you my settings. And so, let's start off with the default unit frames. By default, you see the red, blue, green bar. This is the add-on, and it pretty much just shows you a percentage. You can customize the font and all this stuff. It shows you your name, champion points, what class you're playing, and pretty much all that stuff. Alright, so we have more stuff in here, like shields when it goes out of, like the fade-in transparency of all the bars, something that's really customizable. Custom unit frames, I have this one off, but it's essentially like all of this stuff, bosses, group, and target debuffs and all this stuff. So whatever you want. If you well, I have it on, but it's something that I don't keep unlocked in this way. But it's essentially all of this, and you can customize it the way you want. So many colors, you can do whatever you want. Unit frames is this one. Group frames is going to be over here by default. Raid is if you're in a 12-man raid with more than 4 people. Shows up over here as a different bar. Custom unit frames with the boss frame is definitely one thing I would highly recommend turning on for everyone, because if there are multi-bosses, let's say for example in Maw of Lorcage, we have the twin bosses. It shows you the health bars of both of them at the same time. Even if you're not looking at the second one, it'll show you the percentages of both of them at the top of your screen. So definitely something to have on. And if you are PvPing, there's additional like frames you can have for that one. And then by text, like right here, you see my name is white. You can customize your color name and all that stuff. So that's pretty much all of this in a nutshell. A lot of customization. Let's see, what haven't we gone over? I think we haven't gone over Awesome Guild Store. So Awesome Guild Store works with Master Merchant. Essentially, by default, it should show you like a search box, your search history, and something that should have been in the game by default, where you know how it's really difficult to search for an item. It pretty much just shows you, like, you can very specifically customize what you're looking for, and you'll just be amazed once you use it. You don't want to use the default one ever again. So there's one other one that I use. It's called Superstar. That doesn't show. If you type /superstar, bam, just pops up. So a lot of people have been asking me, like, what add-ons do you use? Or, like, not what add-ons, like, what skills and what abilities do you use? I usually tell people who are looking for build advice to send me a screenshot of your Superstar. So it pretty much just shows you everything in one screenshot, so you don't have to type out paragraphs of things to explain. So it shows you all your champion points, how it's located, weapons, armor. It shows you the set pieces and what quality they are. Unfortunately, this bugs me by not having golden worm jewelry, but like if I were to switch, it just switches on the fly. And then it shows you all your skills, how your CP and health, everything is organized. It would show you, it's pretty much everything. It's pretty detailed. A lot of people don't have this add-on, but if you are looking for build advice and you want to just, like, I don't know, tweet me something, just be like, hey, can you look at my build? Send me a screenshot, and it makes things so much easier. So that's what it is. It doesn't actually do anything. It just shows you everything in a nutshell. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, overall, I think I have actually covered all the add-ons I use. For the most part, this is what it is. The important ones, if you're looking for a competitive, is Shrendar, Raid Notifier, and probably combat metrics. If you're a casual player and just want a UI change, LUI Extended is good. FTC is good. Yeah. So, a lot of these are mostly just how I set myself up. But if you're looking for Skyshards, obviously there's one. More casual ones include Awesome Guild Store, Rick Crafter, Inventory Grid View, Joe Group, Loot Log, Lost Treasure, and all that other stuff. But if you're competitive like me, Raid Notifier is a 100% must, and you don't need it, but it really does help. So, with that said, I think I covered all the add-ons I used. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll try to do my best to explain anything that I may have missed. So, I hope you guys have learned something. If you found something interesting, definitely let me know which one it was, because I am always actually curious to know which ones that you guys have picked up that I may have like shown you in the future. So, with that said, thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys a little bit later.